Warriors, welcome back to Gods of Allaince. If you're here, it means you want power, knowledge, and control over the battlefield. This is not luck. This is strategy. Let's break the game together. Warriors. Today we finally talk about a hero that created something very interesting when he arrived. Not simply because he deals damage, not simply because he belongs to eternity, but because this hero introduced something that many players underestimated at first. Crushing and warriors. Today, we talk about Drayne, because after more skins, more testing, more talismans, and more months inside the arena and battlefield, this hero deserves a complete guide. And by the end of this video, you may understand why so many players invested into him. Now warriors. Who exactly is Drayne? Drayne is a warrior from eternity. But honestly, calling him only an eternity hero feels wrong, because his versatility allows him to enter multiple compositions extremely easily. Fast teams, control teams, burst teams, hybrid teams, crushing teams. Drayne somehow finds ways to work. And perhaps the most dangerous part, the more investment he receives, the more terrifying he becomes. Now let us begin. First, Rising Tornado. This ability immediately shows what Drayne wants to do. He spins his sword, hits enemies multiple times, then increases his own physical attack. But the truly dangerous part, he increases the range of all his skills, which means stronger attacks, better reach, more targets, and warriors. Larger range combined with more physical attack already tells you something. Everything here wants scaling. Next, Shatter Strike. This ability may look simple. Every few attacks, boom, area damage. But warriors. This counts as a basic attack, and that changes everything. Because suddenly, Drayne is not simply attacking. He is constantly generating extra damage windows, extra pressure, extra opportunities to apply his scaling. And when physical attack increases, this becomes even more dangerous. Now, Power Charge and warriors. This may actually be one of the reasons Drayne became so valuable. Because now, he is not only helping himself, he increases crushing, not only for himself, but for allies behind him, and immediately, you understand the objective. Drayne is a team amplifier. He attacks enemies, buffs allies, creates scaling, creates damage, creates pressure, and finally, his passive, Final Verdict. Drayne's attacks and skills now instantly kill enemies with low health, and even more. Enemies killed by him cannot be resurrected. And warriors. This becomes extremely important, because not many heroes in the game have this ability, and it can be very interesting. Against teams with Fire Twins, or Astaroth, for example. Now, the Relics and warriors. This is where things become extremely interesting. First relic, Battle Rush. Every 15 seconds, Drayne increases his speed by 33%, FO 10 seconds. More speed, more energy, more ultimates. Simple, powerful, very useful, because Drayne wants ultimates frequently. Second relic, Rising Tornado, legendary. Now the duration of the physical attack and skill radius increase is 30. More area damage always helps. This relic is incredibly valuable, and it can't be copied. Very strong combination. Third relic. Now, we arrive at something special. Shatter Strike. It reduces the main stat of enemies hit by the skill for 6 seconds. And warriors. This alone may completely change battles. Very dangerous, because suddenly your team becomes stronger while enemies become weaker. But the final relic? This is crazy. As long as Drayne remains alive, crushing remains active. Always. No conditions. No health requirements. No restrictions. Warriors. This is probably one of the most interesting relics released so far. Because now, keeping Drayne alive becomes directly connected to maximizing team damage. Very scary. Now, skins. Strength first. Always. Because strength scales everything. Damage. Survivability. Scaling. Everything. Then, physical attack. And warriors. Almost everything Drayne does scales with physical attack, which immediately makes this extremely valuable. After that, armor penetration, because more penetration means enemies lose protection. And once armor disappears, damage explodes. Health, next. Useful, extra survivability. Then armor, good, but lower priority, because Drayne usually wants offensive scaling first. Artifacts, ring first. Strength, always. Warriors, strength simply gives too much value. Then the book. Armor penetration, crushing, fantastic combination. And finally, weapon, crushing, and warriors. Remember something, crushing is important, very important, but without scaling, crushing alone cannot carry. Strength still matters. Armor penetration still matters. Balance always wins. Glyphs, as high as possible. Priority, strength, physical attack, armor penetration, health, crushing, simple, efficient, very effective. Spark of power, maxed, as always. Now, talismans. First talisman, strength, physical attack, warriors. This is fantastic. Both stats amplify almost everything Drayne wants. And honestly, for many players, this talisman alone is already enough. Second talisman, armor penetration, crushing, very different, very interesting. More armor penetration, more crushing, more scaling, and warriors. If you heavily invest into Drayne, this talisman becomes extremely attractive because more crushing means more team damage. Now warriors. The fun part, battles. First team, Drayne, Dante, Tempest, Iris, Octavia. Very fast, very aggressive. Drayne here amplifies pressure while Dante and Iris convert damage extremely quickly. Second team, Drayne, Yasmin, Berna, Tempest, Somna. Extremely explosive. Multiple threats, multiple damage sources. Very dangerous. Third team, Drayne, Berna, Goose, Iris, Somna. Here we begin seeing versatility, control, damage, support, scaling, everything together. Fourth team, Drayne, Berna, Tempest, Iris, Somna. One of the strongest examples of how Drayne integrates naturally into modern compositions. Fifth team, Drayne, Berna, Iris, Somna, Polaris. Very annoying, very disruptive, and extremely dangerous. Even on harder fights, even on higher enemies, relics, the right teams can make the difference between a win or a loss. Always remember that. Final team, Electra, Drayne, Soleil, Iris, Polaris, and warriors. Sometimes Electra actually creates better stability when paired with Drayne, depending on enemy investment, enemy composition, enemy speed. Electra may simply create smoother battles, helping Drayne and the team to survive, giving them more time to make it work. And that many times, that's all that is needed, which again proves something. Drayne is flexible, very flexible, and warriors. These teams are only examples. Many other options exist. That is exactly why Drayne became popular so quickly. Now, final verdict. Warriors. As you can see, Drayne is a hero built around crushing. Everything points toward crushing, scaling, amplifying damage, helping allies, creating pressure. And the bigger your crushing becomes, the more dangerous your team becomes. Is he cheap? No, definitely not. This is not a low-investment hero. But warriors, the returns are very strong. We talked about Drayne when he first released, but now, more skins, second talisman, more testing, more relic understanding, more teams, and now finally, a more complete guide makes sense. The first talisman, excellent, enough for most players. Second talisman, directly connected to heavy investment, because more crushing means more damage. And warriors, remember something, I still do not even possess those final relics, which means there is still even more potential waiting. Warriors, this is how we play the game. Not randomly, not blindly, with knowledge, with precision, with control. We don't build randomly. We build with intention. Master the mechanics. Control the fight. Let's break the game together.